Hello, this is Svetlana from Kamui Cosplay, and today I wanted to talk about commission work. So, on my social media you see a lot of costumes and props my husband Benny and I made in the past. And naturally we get a lot of requests if we also do costumes and props for other people as well. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about how we handle commissions and why the commission work might be a little bit more expensive than you might expect. First, thanks so much for all your requests. I think the fact that you are asking us to make costumes and props for you and even want to pay for that only shows how much you love our work and appreciate it. And I think that's really amazing. However, I think people underestimate slightly how much time, work, effort and also material cost goes into this project. And I think the main reason for that is because, you see all these builds in just a few videos. For example, Gigante, one of my biggest armor, was made in basically 3 videos on YouTube, and I also made a supercut with only 3 minutes of crafting time for Facebook, and I got a lot of followers for that. But also people expect that this costume was made super fast and without any problems, and then it was super easy peasy, how long could it take? 1 or 2 weeks, who knows? But in fact it took me and Benny actually 3 months of full-time work. And yeah, because of that I think people underestimate slightly how much such a project might cost, and this is the reason why I want to make this video. I mean, I totally get it. There are now so many amazing cosplay shops who are selling absolutely gorgeous costumes for just a few $100s maximum. And then, you want to ask someone to make a custom-made costume, and then this person suddenly asks for 1,000 or several $1,000 for something that look for you quite similar, and you think, what's going on? But the thing what you need to understand is that this commission is actually a prototype. So what's a prototype? Let's go back to the shops and let's pick, for example, a Genshin Impact costume. They look amazing, they have all these cool details, and they're also really cheap. But how is this possible? The thing is that these items are mass-produced and highly efficient products that maybe also cost far less labor work to create because they were made in Asian countries, and also basically are made with materials that were ordered in a bulk, so the material costs are also obviously far lower. But the thing is, to make such a product, you have to make a master first. And the master is the most expensive part of these items. So basically, someone had to figure out how to make the patterns, how to make them for different sizes, how to make the accessories, had to pick the right materials, maybe experiment with different colors of the fabrics, all these things. But once the master is done, the seamstresses for the costume just made the patterns and put it together like a puzzle with all these really cheap bulk material item costs. But yeah, basically once you want a commission, you basically ask someone for the prototype, and you also have to pay for all this extra work, for the pattern drafting, the blueprints, the engineering, all the experimenting, the trial and error, and all these extra things the shops basically don't pay. And obviously the shops also pick games or anime and manga, and especially costumes which have a really high demand, so they can lower the prices by a huge mass production and basically split the cost for the prototypes on all these orders. And yeah, with a commission you don't have this option because it's a unique and prototype item. So because of that you cannot really compare the prices of the shops with a commission. So if you want to have a cool, amazing looking costume from a popular anime or manga or comic or game or whatever, just search for a shop, because probably you won't get it anywhere cheaper. But if you want to have something unique, something awesome, something made just for you and don't want to make it yourself, then a commission is probably the only option for you. In addition to just the pure labor work and material costs of creating the prototype though, a commissioner also needs to ask for much more. For example, Benny and I, we're doing this as a full-time job, and if we're doing commissions full-time, we also have to figure out a way to pay our bills with commissions. And these bills includes also insurances, tax, electricity, like rent for the workshop, buying new tools, but also we have to build on a buffer in case we're getting sick or like when we want to take some time off. And also, for example, just customer communication, because like writing back and forth with someone who wants to get a commission from you takes a lot of time, especially if you get like hundreds and hundreds of emails for potential customers and just first have to figure out if like they can pay you and stuff like that. And like this is a lot of work which doesn't go directly into the commission but also needs to get paid. There are surely also people who don't need to charge that much for commissions. For example, maybe they have a full-time job and do commissions just as a side hobby, and they just want to earn something extra and they don't need to pay their bills with commission work. Or maybe there are also people who have just far less living expenses simply because they're living in a different country. Like it's a huge difference if you have to pay like $100 for rent per month, or if you have to pay like $2,000 per month. And like, for example, also the taxes for us here in Germany are also quite high, and also like the living expenses. For example, we pay like a 42% income tax and 19% sales tax, and we all have to calculate this in. So you might be lucky, but it totally depends on the commissioner how much this person charge for their work. Obviously, I can only speak for myself. Like, for example, Benny and I, we're doing this whole cosplay thing full-time, and we need to decide what is worth our time. Like, we are running our cosplay shop with crafting books and patterns. We can also make like new products. We also have our YouTube channel. We make income with monetization on Facebook. Like, we have so many other things going on. And basically, if someone commissions us, it needs to be worth for us to stop what we are doing and do the commission instead. And like for other people, it's pretty much the same. You can have a full-time job which pays, let's say, like $3,000 a month, or you can spend your time making a commission for a whole month and get like only $300. So what would you pick, And to give you a good idea about prices for commissions, I thought I'd give you some numbers finally. So let's take Volva's hammer as an example. I did this prop last year. It was basically just a weapon, but it included lights, sound effects, and like also smoke machine, very fancy. And like people also asked me a lot for commissions after I finished the project. I did a little bit of calculation, and it took me around 150 hours to finish the prop. And this also includes like my work, but also Benny's work, and also like the engineering, like drafting the blueprint and like getting help from Benny with the paint shop. So basically like more or less everything. And I also had around $400 of material costs because it included a lot of electronics, and electronics are quite expensive. So let's do it with the minimum wage, which is in Germany €9.50, and it's equal to $11.50 in dollars. And I say no one should ask minimum wage as an artist, but just do it for fun. So basically, we do like 150 hours with $11.50, which is already $1,725 plus $400 of material costs, and we are already on $2,125 just for the prop with minimum wage. And the funny thing is, like if you're asking, for example, for a whole armor set, and yeah, Neo Gigante, which was, I would say, not my biggest costume, but it was still a big one, it included like around 500 hours of working time, and you can calculate this as well by yourself. And this is just minimum wage. And now we are calculating it with an actual professional price. Let's say, like in Germany, an professional, like for example, an electrician, I googled it, asks for around 50 euros per hour. So let's calculate this with an electrician. How much is it? Like $65, I would say $65, right? So 150 with $65 is already 9,750 plus 400. So we would be already on $10,150 just for Bolwas Hammer. And if we do this for Nergigante with 500 hours, so this would be already, or $42,500 without material costs. Yes. So this is probably far more than you expected. And like even if I would charge like only $30 per hour or $20 per hour, it would be still far more than a normal person probably can afford for costume. And the thing is, like these costumes take just a lot of labor work and also material costs. And because of that, we are not open for commissions for private people. And we mostly just do commissions for companies simply because they have a budget and that works for us, but we do mostly social media campaigns. So basically, one example is basically the Outriders costume. And here I chose the costume and also the weapon by myself and just made the costume, showed how everything was done, and the reach that was generated was used to promote the game Outriders, and the company Square Enix was really happy, and we kept the costume at the end. So it's not really commission, but like basically a social media campaign. And as I said, there are surely people who charge far less for their commission work, but this is simply not something that works for us. We also once opened a commission slot and like we got like within a few hours like hundreds and hundreds of emails, and it was so much work just to answer all of them. And Benny and I, we simply noticed that there is nobody that can pay our price, and that would make it basically work to do a commission for someone else. So instead of that, we focus on other income streams and do a commission for companies only from time to time if we're in the mood for that. And while making full costumes or like large gigantic props are not an option for Benny and me, I know there are people who are offering small commissions. For example, like they do like small accessories like hats, weapons and stuff like that. And you can also build up a little business with doing stuff like that. Or if you really need help with a costume, you can actually pay someone to make like the most difficult part of a costume and then make the rest, because making costumes is actually super fun. I mean, look at me, I made Nergigante and nobody paid me for that because it's like so much fun and awesome. And if you want to get into cosplay and still want to get some help but don't have like any money or like just a little bit of money, we have like patterns in our shop, like costume making patterns and also blueprints on commocosplay.com, which are available for download. Or you can also get like my cosplay crafting books. I also have a book for like a cosplay for beginners, for sewing, for foam work, like basically everything you need to know on commocosplay.com. And like cosplay is so much fun. It's like the best hobby of everything. I love it and I think everyone should do it. And you can maybe make a little bit of money with commissions. So I really hope this video was very informative and especially eye-opening, maybe also a little bit shocking. And yeah, maybe also a little bit different. But if you have any questions, any comments or like any feedback or anything, and it's not a commission request, just write down a comment down below. And if you have no idea what to write, you can also just join the Corgi Squad and support us with the YouTube algorithm by writing down Corgi in the comments down below. And yeah, I wanted to make this video already for a very long time, especially since we get like so many commission requests, and I feel very bad not to answer any of them because there are just too many. And I hope like people will now just stop asking me if we do commissions or not, because like we get like so many messages from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and like YouTube's and like all the things. So I hope they stop. And other than that, I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, consider to support us on Patreon, and see you very soon in the next video. Bye bye. And finally, I want to say a huge thank you to our super sponsors on Patreon. And these are Emma, Jessica Burden, Louisa Paris, Lisa, Lorica Cosplay, and Maloops. Thank you very much. And also thanks a lot to all our other sponsors on Patreon. Thank you.